Hello and welcome back. It's me. We're doing another 2023 top 10 list, and this one's about to get weird because I don't feel like waiting any longer for this. Um, so these are top 10 animated features of the year. Have I seen more than 10? Absolutely. There are films I don't want to have on this list. They're just not gonna make this list. Um, I also have not seen a couple of the films that were released at the end of the year. We had like a little of animated films released at the end of the year. Some of them do not have audio description right now. Robot Dreams is, from what I understand, mostly a silent film that has no audio description, so I'm not super stoked for that. Um, may have audio description at a later point. It currently does not, so it's not accessible to me. The Boy and the Heron was released theatrically without audio description. I will talk about that in a minute. Um, I I didn't like the first Trolls. I haven't seen the second one. So when Trolls 3 was made available for VOD and it's like I could spend direct money to rent Trolls 3, I was like, I haven't even seen 2. I didn't like 1. So it's just a franchise that doesn't work for me. I don't think all of a sudden I'm going to be like, oh my God, the third Trolls movie. I don't think that's going to happen for me. I'm just going to project it would not have made my top 10 even if I did see it. Migration, maybe. Wasn't the strongest year for animation. Maybe it could have cracked the top 10. Wish is getting so many mixed and negative reviews, and a lot of people whose opinion I usually align with were like, this is. I'm like, okay. So yeah, if it was on Disney Plus, I'd watch it. There's currently not a date for Wish to drop on Disney Plus. I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be like in March since they just dropped the Eternals. I don't know why they would push Wish out that quickly. It doesn't even have an Oscar nomination to align with, so I just don't see the upside of why they would move that. So those are the films I haven't seen that you might be like, where are these films at? Why didn't you see them? Although I don't think anybody was going to notice Trolls 3, I just wanted to go ahead and say, I don't like the Trolls movies. So they're totally lost on me as a person. Um, so how did I come up with my top 10 list then? Well, with the films that I've seen. So it may be an interesting list, and it's about to be a really interesting list because, and I kind of criticized some people earlier in a different video who other critics were doing like their top tens of the year, and there was at least one person who I respect a lot who put The Abyss in the top 10. I was like, really? You couldn't find a film from this current year to fill in your top 10? And now I kind of feel that vibe because my number 10 is The Boy and the Heron, a film I've not seen. Um, this is sort of like me giving a spot because I have also never seen a Miyazaki movie I didn't like. Ponyo is probably my least favorite, and if I was putting Ponyo into this list of films, Ponyo would make the top 10. So, um, yeah, I'm just projecting the fact that eventually when I see The Boy and the Heron, it would have made this top 10 list. I don't know where, so I'm going to be safe and just say top number 10 because every film that could have taken the 10th spot that I uh, could have put in there of the films I did see, I feel like I can comfortably say The Boy and the Heron would beat. It would be really hard. Miyazaki would have to be really off his game, and that doesn't seem to be the feedback that Miyazaki fans are giving for The Boy and the Heron. Even for the people who don't totally love it, they're like, no, it's pretty good. It's not Spirited Away, but it's all right, you know. So I can take not Spirited Away. It's all right because I'm also a big fan of like Castle in the Sky and some of those other sort of like, oh, it's out there. We don't really talk about that film a lot, but it exists. So he's incredibly consistent, and I'm giving him a spot regardless because I wanted a 10th film on my list that wasn't something that I don't want to, that I would not put on the top 10 list. Number 9 is Super Mario Brothers. Um, this was fun. It was fine. I thought about watching it again just to see, just because it's on like streaming, and I'm like, what is this again? Um, yeah, I just don't know that I would have made all the same choices that this film makes in regards to traversing through Mario World the way that it does with the characters. I don't know that the representation of every single character is necessarily perfect. I think it goes for broad humor. And there's something to be said for that. And but one thing's for sure, I definitely don't hate Chris Pratt in this as much as a lot of people initially did when they first saw the trailer. And you know, he doesn't do that Italian accent the whole time. He's just kind of, they're doing the stereotypical thing, and it explains it. And I was like, all right, well, thankfully he's not doing that the whole time, like Jared Leto in House of Gucci. So Mario Brothers is my number 9 film. Moving up, number 8 is Suzume. Uh, I honestly, this film could be higher if it had audio description. It was a very interesting film, but it was hard to follow. So I think there's something worth putting it on the list, though, because what it does creatively and the story that it wants to tell that you don't even know it's telling until it gets to the end, I thought was really well done. I think there's a film in Suzume that would have gone higher on my list had it been accessible, instead of me just having to listen to an English dub track. It's like I kind of get the vibes, but because there's so many chunks of this film, I'm like, what is this? And honestly, some of the dialogue translation is just so weird. It's just like when somebody comes in the room and they're just, it's just like, I know Crunchyroll just is going for like literal translations of things, but I'm like, this is not how people speak. Nobody speaks like this. Um, we got to do just a slightly better job of interpreting while dubbing, just to make it sound like this is the line that's spoken, instead of, wow, this is a weird conversation these people are having. um anyway, moving up the list, number 7, Elemental. um yeah, Pixar is kind of low on my list this year. This coming from somebody who, just a couple years ago, I just want to say Luca was my favorite that year. It won my best animated feature trophy, and like no one was talking about Luca. And I was like, oh my god, I love Luca so much. I didn't understand why it was released just to Disney Plus. It felt very sad. I was just very disappointed for that film. Um, and some of Pixar's other work recently has not totally resonated with me. Like Turning Red, I wasn't a huge fan. Elemental is fine. Elemental is compared to like Lightyear, like we're coming back, we're building back. It's making me slightly more optimistic for Inside Out too, but it did feel like they were kind of hitting a rocky patch, and then all of a sudden, like one of their best films of the, I don't know, last 5 years just went straight to Disney Plus. I don't even, I have so many mixed emotions about about how they treated Luca. Um, but Elemental, even though you can see the ending coming a mile away, it's creative. I just wish they had done more with the other elements. You know, instead of just making it about fire and water, you opened up this great world. It's a world I actually wanted to spend more time in, and I just wanted more from the rest of the world too. Uh, it's a very interesting story conceptually, um, and I would have just expanded upon it. So, moving up the list, number 6 is The Monkey King. This was on Netflix. I think people forgot this ever existed, which is fair. Netflix oftentimes just drops like animated features occasionally, and they're not really meant to be remembered. I really enjoyed The Monkey King. There's actually kind of a nice little leap from Elemental to The Monkey King, where I don't have to justify it. I feel 100% vindicated, and it's being on a top 10 list. Um, it ended up not being Netflix's best animation of the year, but it was a fun adventure, very odd, but very fun, and action packed, and had a story and It's a little heartfelt and everything. It was really, really good. If you just skipped over the Monkey King because you were like, this is garbage, it's actually not. It's actually really pretty well done. So, not garbage. Moving up the list to number 5. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Considering the Netflix crap that we got, that was that Nickelodeon thing where they had like magical powers, and they totally like rewrote the Ninja Turtles, and like Leonardo wasn't like the leader anymore, and I was like, what is this film? That thing I hated. I hated that. I don't know what we've done to the Ninja Turtles for our kids, but they were fine. We didn't need to rewrite the Ninja Turtles. Be like if I just suddenly watched X-Men and they were like, oh, guess who's in charge of the X-Men? Oh, none of them have powers anymore, but look, it's Bishop. What the fuck is Bishop doing? I don't know. He's leading the X-Men. What happened to the X-Men? I don't know. We've got a new generation of kids, and we're presenting them now. Now they have magic instead of mutant powers. What's going on? They're already ninjas. That's supposed to be enough. This film fixed basically all of that. It does actually have them. Everybody loves the fact that they are actually teenagers. My one problem as a hardcore Ninja Turtles fan is the bullshit that they pull with Superfly instead of just having Baxter Stockman. It is so weird that you have all of these, you're pulling out all of these like semi obscure turtle villains, and then you create Superfly who's exactly like Baxter Stockman. Why? Why? Even if you want Ice Cube, Ice Cube can voice Baxter Stockman. He was played by Tyler Perry in the live action movies. Were you like, we can't have a black Baxter Stockman in this movie because they did it in the live action one. We have to create a completely new character. I don't understand the whole thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm still lost. And then people were like, oh, it's because of the fly. But they still made a fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still a fly in this film. If you don't want to align, if you're worried about copyright infringement, first of all, Baxter's been around for years. If somebody was going to sue for copyright infringement, they would have already done that. Second of all, he's still a fly, so you like make the main villain not a fly. make Instead of making him, I don't know, make it the grasshopper. You know, I have no idea, but it was just so weird. It's like they created a character that already existed and then renamed him. Bizarre. I'm never moving past that. That was such a bizarre choice. But it's probably why this is number 5 because I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan. I actually even liked TMNT. True story on that. Moving on up the list. Misspelled Nimona. Or Nimona, depending on how your screen reader does. It's actually Nimona. I just had to say Nimona. My screen reader thinks it's Nimona. I love screen readers. Nimona is just like a really great triumphant story in terms of how this thing came to be. The fact that it was being developed by Fox through Blue Skies Animation, and then Disney bought Fox, and Disney looked at Nimona and they were like, a gay Prince movie? This will never work. So they killed it, and then Netflix was like, yeah, we'll take it. And then lo and behold, look what happened this year. Looks like that's an Oscar nomination for Nimona. But where's Wish? Where is Wish? The Disney movie? The Disney anniversary. Oh, shit, Disney made the wrong choice. I love this film. I love the fact that this film exists. Because even though I love Disney, I love watching their movies, I also love when things have that underdog story, when just a film in general, when it comes back and it just comes back swinging, and it's just like, you thought I was dead. You tried to kill me. I'm alive. And I'm going to take that Oscar nomination from your... So, just congratulations to everybody at Blue Sky who put time and effort into this film before it just got deleted. Disney just cancels projects. I so wanted a long time ago they had Newt, which sounded delightful. And if you've ever seen the initial artwork for Newt, he's cute as AF. AF. Hashtag AF on that. Yeah. And they canceled Pixar's Newt because it was too close to Rio. And I was like, come on. Don't let Rio's not that great of a movie. Don't let Rio stop Pixar from doing Newt. That's a dumb reason. Anyway, this Demona was fun, and Chloe Grace Moretz does a fantastic job as Nimona. So, yeah. If you haven't seen Nimona, it's probably because you're afraid of LGBT people and what this will do to your kids. I don't know. I don't know why you haven't seen Nimona, but that's definitely something that's happening. So, no, I can't. My kids can't watch this. Um, God forbid they expand their horizons. Anyway, and learn new things. Number 3 on the list is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Uh, yeah, it's only number 3. You know why? Because it's a part 1, and it annoys the shit out of me. We had a lot of part 1s this year. We had a lot of films that left off on it, and I thought this one had the weakest ending of all of them. This one was most like a, you know, we want we want your money, so we're just gonna stop the film right here, and we'll pick it up later at a different time. It was, I don't know. It sort of reminded me like it was trying to take like a Deathly Hallows approach. Like we're like halfway through the book, and I'm like, there's no book here. You could have just, why can't this just be like Two Towers feels like it has more of an ending to this. Um, other middle films and trilogies just, I don't know, they feel like they have more of a finite ending. This just, it talks about like it's headed towards something and then it doesn't get there. Instead it gets close. And it's like next season on Spider-Man. It's a really strong movie and I love Miles Morales, but I can't put it at number 1. There were two things that I actually liked a lot more for different reasons. However, a feat of animation this is, absolutely. Um, as was the first one. I think the third one probably when they actually finish it, as long as they're not like between now and then, like we're gonna make a fourth one, so let's not really end the third movie either. This seems to be out working really well for us. As long as they actually have a finite ending in the third movie, I have a feeling that ha- should be fine in being able to take the top spot based on the trajectory in which they're headed when it comes out. But you never know. Maybe they'll be like, to be continued. Damn it. Stop doing this. Um, but yeah, Miles is. It's so interesting how he is like a dominating force and has easily matched Peter Parker, even though he's like the alt version of Spider-Man. So I wonder if they would ever do that with something like Amadeus Cho for Hulk, and see how that pans out. So, um, what did I actually think was better than this? Because right now I feel like I've lost everybody. Everybody just delete. They were like, no, he only has Spider-Man at number 3, not even 2, and he didn't even see Boy and the Heron. Okay, so there are 2 films. One of them, my number 2 film is Leo. Yeah, Adam Sandler's Leo. I believe me, I went into the same thing. I was like, Adam Sandler's got a new film on Netflix. Fuck my life. Just I was not I was not excited. I mean, earlier this year he had already produced and gotten out that Bat Mitzvah movie, which was eh. And he released that uninspired murder mystery sequel. It was just whatever. It's just like, oh, congratulations, you reteamed with Jennifer Aniston. I don't know to do what, but you reteamed with her. So then we finished the trifecta of evil with Leo, and I was like, oh, this is clearly Adam Sandler's trying to murder everybody this year. And then I really liked Leo. It has a lot of heart. I didn't look into Leo. The fact that he brought Robert Smigel in to do a lot of it, the guy that used to do um, s- uh, Saturday TV Funhouse or whatever. I can't. Saturday TV Funhouse, TV Funhouse. I don't know. I can't remember. TV Funhouse, Saturday Night Live. Um, yeah, the fact that, and the guy who also does Triumph, the voice of Triumph. Anyway, the fact that they teamed together for this and wrote original music, it reminded me so much of A Crazy Nights, which I think is a really underrated film. And if Adam Sandler is going to make an animated film once every 20 years, fine. Um, but I I really enjoyed this. I thought it had a lot of warmth in it. It was actually about something. It had a plot. Uh, I really enjoyed Leo, and honestly, I in the review I mentioned also there were a lot of personal ties where I felt like it was aiming at me in my life so personally because I actually grew up in Fort Myers. It's where I actually went to elementary school, and as soon as I saw Fort Myers Elementary School, I was like, "This is my life. He's put my life into this film." So it's so specific because it's not that big of a town. I mean, it's big, but it's not. I mean, if I lived in New York and grew up in New York, I wouldn't. I couldn't use this excuse for every single thing that takes place in New York. Name the films that take place in Fort Myers. I'll wait. It's just not that many. Um, Interestingly, the kids in Neon are from Fort Myers. Netflix's Neon, which was released almost at exactly the same time. So, who knows what Netflix is trying to do by attract attention to Fort Myers? Maybe they own stock or something down there. But it's a TV show, not a movie. So, yeah, Leo even got the nostalgic button for me. Um, I thought it was really nice. I thought it was a really nice film, and it's not overly crude. It's not anything. It's just a delightful film to watch that I had no problems with. I had a smile on my face the whole time. It was exactly what it needed to be. But then there was one film. I don't even know if this is actually an animated feature or it is considered a short. It's not. It's definitely not eligible for the Oscars. But I watched it and I loved it and I loved every minute of it. And this was the most delightful animated experience I had of the year. And I'm taking a big swing here. But my pick for best animated feature, if we're gonna use that term here, of the year, Merry Little Batman. Yeah. Obviously, I care not whether or not my thoughts align with anyone else. Uh, and that is hopefully the charm that you find in this channel is that I'm not ever trying to match with the wave of critics. This is delightful. It's, I mean, just Damian Wayne getting to shine. We talked about Miles Morales, right? And the sort of like the characters that are sort of like the alt characters that never really get their day. And then here we go with a Damian Wayne centered story at Christmas time. It starts out with this like strong Home Alone vibe, and then it breaks out into all of Gotham, and it's a Batman Christmas special, but it's so well done. Um, and Luke Wilson as Batman, if you had told me that, I would have been like, that's an awful choice. But actually hearing him do it for this perfection, he was the perfect choice to voice Batman in this. Couldn't imagine anybody else. He plays a great Bat Dad in this, and I just love this film so much. It was on Amazon. I don't even know how it ended up on Amazon because it's a Warner Brothers thing. So why is this not on Max? Did Max purge this? Did they try to use this as a tax write-off? They were like, ah, nobody will watch this. This was amazing. I loved this film from start to finish. I just thought it was great. It has a terrific audio description. Um, and yeah, uh, it is my pick for best animated feature of the year. So one superhero may not have won, but another one did. Um, Damian Wayne won for the movie you did not see coming. Let's be honest. When you saw this list, you probably thought it was going to be really predictable. It's the least predictable list I think I've done so far. Um, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, and click subscribe, I guess. I'll hit you up with another top 10 list and see you guys on the other side. Oh, everything on here has audio description except Suzume. So, and The Boy and the Heron, which I it might when it comes to streaming. Studio Ghibli films don't all have on Max, but 4Kids released when they had their last Oscar GKIDS, sorry, GKIDS. Their last Oscar movie was Belle. And when Belle went to Max, they put audio description on it. So it's entirely possible that Max will premiere this and throw audio description on it. So I'm awaiting audio description for this. To be determined. TBD is my prediction on that. But yeah, no, Suzume doesn't have audio description on Crunchyroll. So anyway, that's it. I'll see you guys on the other side.